Blog Talk Radio.
All right, people. Good day. Good day. Wow. I don't know. Sometimes I'd be wanting to start off a certain kind of way, but as usual, today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2014. Boon, B-O-O-N, blessings, salubrious. My name is Irene Ratliff, Regal Street Meat Company. Street Meat Company is a nonprofit organization seeking partners and sponsorship such as the listening audience to help ameliorate goals that can improve our community. Listeners, you're able to call 646-564-9776. Street Meet the Point. We are on air 120 minutes daily, up to now. Because tonight we'll probably just go ahead and do maybe, 20 minutes of this time. It depends on the 20 to 30 minutes of conversation today. Just depends on, I guess, the flow. Maybe there'll be more to converse to Mayana. It's not really to talk about the aspect of juicing and eating and exercising. I was laughing really quick and just said, wow, some people, I guess if they got it going on like that, they could spend 4 or 5 hours exercising a day. And guess what? Some people do, especially women, men who provide for their female, vice versa. They get out and they go do yoga, they go dancing, they go do this, they go shopping, they go and help Sally with her red hat venture and all that, and they go, buy the little clothes, cook the little meals, and hey, yes, that's us. I mean, I look like it, but it's many, many of us. Okay, so they'll go and do their little thing. So let me finish this, and then we will communicate certain things about comparison. Okay. Anyway, StreetMeat.com. We on every 120 minutes daily, starting at 11:30 p.m. By the grace of goodness, we are training on Blog Talk's premium package. We would like to maintain the package. We do need donations, so I'm asking you, please, visit our website at www.streetmeat.biz and www.meetup.com/street-meat. If you don't mind, please hold. It's okay. If you hear any noise in the background, it just seems like it got louder. Some other people may want to be heard, but this is you guys' hour, your time. I want to say Street Meat Mingle Blessings will be on Sunday, July 6, 2014 at 2 p.m. at the Southwest Library. Hoping to see you. They have a park area, and if you have drums and dance, hoping to create some cheer, yes, we would like to see you. Now, I wanted to have a quick conversation about comparisons. I was just looking at how the average person, that's not working, right? For a moment, I'm sorry, I'm just chewing this gum like it's okay. Some people, they get out and they go and they do different things. They want to achieve certain goals. They want to ameliorate to certain heights. And, again, I guess some of the things have been, I guess communicating and with other people. Height is as far as you feel like you want to see. You understand? And so what happened is that for some reason, somewhere in there was a misunderstanding about where we are today. And for what reason should we look at ourselves as if, meaning, hear this, we have a lot of people who look like they're achievers. But the thing is that why should we look at ourselves as if we are not achieving? You understand what I mean? What I mean? Now, we're here in an industrial, opulent. We live here. We are citizens here. We are Americans here. You understand what I mean? Bless me. It is our goal to try to facilitate the accesses for other people. That means that here it is, we should be able, I'm talking about, when I say other people, let's just say other countries, to help improve what that is in other countries. Okay? So what happens is that you get these people, just like right now, I'm looking at me, and I'm like, wow, this, I could do this. These people talk about some Black Wall Street. I'm like, here, we got all these ideas all over there back behind Fort McPherson, Lakewood area, all of Oakland and East Point and all them areas. It just kind of looked like it looked, meaning that we can make some money to do what it is that we need to do. Okay, one moment, please. Okay, I apologize. But anyway, we have these people who's going back and forth talking about Black Wall Street. And the thing is that when we look at where we could actually grow and where we can progress, and over this period of time, I'll talk about that, what we can achieve. What I begin to realize is that, don't get me misunderstood, we have a lot of educated people here, people who do have education, okay? And the education, I'm not disputing that. But where are the innovators? Where are the people who are doing mechanical engineering? Where are the architects? You know, when we start looking at professional levels, it's just not talking about doctors and lawyers. So when we look at the majority of the people who are, I guess, grazing or applying or achieving, put it like this, what has happened? That means that the street in itself has maintained a large amount of people and looking like they look. Because let me ask you, do you think when you have people saying, "Oh wow, these people, what's going on with us?" Do you think that this is a reflection? A lot of these people are a reflection of Martin Luther King. What about who else can we name? Thurgood Marshall. I mean, that's when we look at how drugs kind of have plagued our community, maybe in the 80s and the 70s and how that looked, then here it is, blessings. We just come to this particular point where it just kind of looked like it looked. So what is it that what is the assumption? But we should not look at ourselves as if we're underachievers. People, they get up, they go to work, they go to school, blessings. They're doing this, they're doing that. So what is the issue? Okay, what is the issue? Now, do we want everybody to have some understanding about resources and things that are available to them? Sure we do. So let's just take the SBA for an example. Now, when we look at it, the government in itself actually provides certain programs and it's available for people who feel like they have innovation or even some scope where they feel like they're able to do certain things. That is true. But what happens is that a lot of people, they end up just having some business idea. They get a business thing and they open it, just like a website. So they become menu positions, menu jobs. Now, there's nothing wrong with services. Are you hearing me? But when you see that here it is, services is in a saturated area, you must migrate outside of the country. So anyway, the thought is that I have in Latin America, okay? And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of work that can be done and achieved there. Now, when the Asians went over into Africa and started doing certain investments in Africa, what had went on the low was Latin America. But in actuality, here it is, not only Latin America, but also everything in the Americas. Let's put it like that. We have Canada, and then here it is. Now you got almost, I ain't going to fit you. I need to look at it now. Because now it looks like a little shrimp. Anyway, I don't know. We got the harvest, and then here it is. But we have Canada, we have the United States. Now, what would be considered North America in thought? Really, it's Mexico, United States, and Canada. Now, as much as I want to say Mexico is actually Central American, it's not. They do not categorize Mexico as blessings as being Central American. Okay, matter of fact, Mexico actually stands on its own when you think about it, okay? So Mexico do stand on its own, okay? But the thing is that when they did the NAFTA agreement, it made Mexico look as if it was already a part of Northern America. So Canada, United States, and Mexico. So anyway, now we have Central America, which goes all the way down from Guatemala, Belize, blessings, to the Panama Canal, and then you have South America, and then that's not even communicating the islands, right? So I was like, man, the thought was, I traveled over there to Latin America. I wondered if I should go over there, schedule a business here, go over to Latin America, and then go ahead and build over there. Now, I know that I have communicated how it's important for us to know another language. but I do not. I've studied a little bit of French. I studied a little bit of Spanish. But when you travel to these places, you'll realize that they also speak English and Spanish. Okay? Now, what I found interesting, because I was like, oh gosh, where I'll get their resources and this. Now, yes, we do have a reserve of resources. But when we look at some of these other countries, we also need to study what kind of resources they have so that maybe we can participate in actually, doing some nation building. Meaning, I don't have to look at the United States of America, even though I know that there's resources there, as long as I know that I'm establishing a relationship other places. Why? Because what it is that the Americans actually have locations in these other areas where we're able to do business. So while we're actually, thinking, okay, well, here it is, I have to, you have to create well, that's true if you feel like you want to create your business name. But if you have because, at one time, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to move to Martinique. I literally was looking at Martinique and some other areas when I was studying French to see if I wanted to actually travel there and consider trade. Now, some of the ideas that we see on True Amelioration, I ain't going to fib to you. We have to have people who know how to draw, people who know how to get on a computer, people who know how to make those things manifest so that we can go ahead and have it. Now, it's thoughts, ideas. Now we got to work together and collaborate and then work with other people who may also have interest in the field to help that. So anyway, I just found it interesting that if you have a business idea and you want to, and it's there to fight poverty, meaning create jobs, I was like, wow, we are Americans. And that would be including South America, Central America, North America too. Now, we ain't sitting there saying that you can't find your way through the Pacific and New Zealand and Australia going through Easter Island. Bless you. Let me just intercern really quick. I did have a little issue today. I have a little concern in my eye, so I am thinking about my children, thinking about here it is my family, and here it is the people that participate in my relationship. But anyway, my relationships in my day-to-day, and it just kind of seem a certain kind of way, but I ain't going to go into all of that. And let me go back to this other thing. It's just, hey, sometimes you feel good, sometimes you are mellow, sometimes, but, I try to keep, I guess, the momentum of being optimistic there, Oh, gosh, the police. Anyway. So anyway, when you look at, it's an inside thing. When you look at, here it is, Greenland, the aspect to be able to travel from Greenland, Ireland, and then get over there to Europe. So in actuality, the United States really sits by itself. Now, you have Alaska, blessings, and you could get over, what was those little islands? But anyway, I was trying to figure out how I could get over there. You got all these little islands in the Bering Sea that actually goes, matter of fact, there's really only 2 islands by boat, and you can get over to Russia. Okay? Then they have the Bering Sea, and they have all those little islands, and you can get over into Russia, on the other side of Russia, near Japan. Okay? So anyway, the conversation is this. Once you establish yourself and you actually know what you want to do, you're able to actually, I guess, reside in another country, especially if you have an interest in infrastructure or building certain things. We are really, I live where I live, and I was just looking around, and you don't see telephone poles. We literally have upgraded our electricity base, meaning that a lot of this stuff is probably underground, and you do not see, wires and everything. And I was just kind of interested. And I said, I wonder how and why we don't see the wires. Now, I want y'all to take the time and look at your apartment complexes and look at your streets and wherever you are, and then, hey, look at your electricity grids. What does that look like? It's a phenomenal thing where we are today. Well, what do you mean by that? When you look all the way around you, yes, honey, embrace the fact that man has created that thing. And we enjoy a lot of the resources and amenities. Okay? When you have people who feel like they want to box you down, hold up. Wait a minute. Why are you fighting me? Why are you hitting me? Why do you want to abuse me? Why do you want to mistreat me? Why here it is we've gone through racism? Why have we, for real, what is this? What is that list? I mean, you almost have to ask or tell, why in the world are we going through those things? Anyway, no, I'm going to let you know right now that we should not look at ourselves a certain kind of way. I think if anything, yes, we do need to try to help motivate certain people, but I ain't going to fib because I'm going to be the first woman to tell you this. Why would I spend so much time on some person who do not want to get an education when there's a whole lot of them that do? Do you understand what I mean? What I mean? Okay, let me repeat it. Why should I spend so much time trying to lure anybody to do certain things when there's a whole lot of people who do? Okay. No, so here it is. That is not street meat, honey. I'll keep it pushing. I ain't gonna fib to you. All right, we going around and around. All right, here it is. Hey, come on. Did you go and get your GED today? And yet here it is. You ain't abiding by. Here it is. You, meaning you the being. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna fib to you. There's just the world is big. The field is large. There's so much to do that conversation right there is sufficient to say, you know what, we can achieve certain things. No, we can achieve things. Okay, there's things that we can achieve. Okay, so there is so many things to do, so many great things to get involved in, so how can you help improve other people's livelihoods and create certain things with them? And it's just like, okay, we value, our listeners to get involved with local associations, neighborhood club associations, know your politicians, join your libraries, read and research more often, locate the local law library, and build street-level laws pertaining to citizens in your area. Join the park and recreation departments. There are so many things, Popo, to get involved and have the know. Okay? Now, let me go back over here to this note. Do not compare yourself and your people and why the one group look like they look. We have education. Somebody wants to say, well, here it is. Well, we want to repair all of our problems. I know that's right. Well, here it is. We had to have free education. I seem like maybe perhaps you just traveled around the block. Because if you go to some of these other countries, here it is. Their children, they go to school and they have, well, we do pay for our education. Huh? We do have mill rates. We do pay taxes. What's going on? What? Here it is, you got these people be complaining about these corporations. I couldn't explain to you why they were doing Occupy. Occupy why? Woo. Huh? Okay. The reason why is that when you start having, because a lot of these corporations, what happens is that they're actually doing community sharing and community wealth. Blessings. So they go in here. I know, thank you. Here to do, different countries to actually produce community wealth. Okay? Wealth. And then what happens is that they actually have foundations. So what it is that you actually literally have to find out about the foundation, and then also when you look at it, the corporate tax, they cheat on the corporate taxpayers, and hold up, what it is, okay? Because we really don't. They got all kind of taxes. We really do not file our taxes the way that we should. The question to homeowners in the United States, homeowners, are you all familiar with 179? Most homeowners are not familiar with 179, blessings. But the thing is that because we don't file it, the government files all this stuff in these different numbers. I ain't gonna 1,500. I was like, and that's okay. I ain't going there with you about Geithner. But what it is that the corporate industry, they have these foundations and they donate monies for people to try to, help ameliorate their communities and do certain things. They have these various foundations and this, that, and the other. You have to apply for scholarships. So the grants are there and they're available. Okay? Of course, if you apply for them and they're appropriate, that's what's up. Blessings. Okay. Anyway, those things are there. Okay? So when you think about SBL, a lot of people think about small business. Okay, I'm going to go open me a hair shop, and I'm going to go ahead and open me a liquor store, and, here it is, open up a little lawnmower business. Okay, yes, they're okay with that. But then when it really, to tell you the truth, they have, they're actually, that's fine. Those are base businesses, okay? But then there's also other levels of business, even with the SBA, okay? This is why I want to work with some people when it comes down to true amelioration. I do, This is why when some people say, well, we're going to go out there and rally and protest, what is it about? They were out there, I think, asking for $15 an hour for working at the fast food restaurant. I worked at the fast food restaurant. I ain't gonna figure you. McDonald's was tough. I'd rather, clean the lobby, honey. I'd rather mop the floors and clean the bathroom instead of being behind a register. Because they people, boy, I tell you, you have to know what them numbers are. You need to place your orders. And they were only making maybe about $5, $6 an hour. Now, they should have been paid more money than that. Now, I am in agreement that maybe it should have gone onto the federal level. Because McDonald's make a whole lot of money, okay? They do. Well, matter of fact, it makes me wonder how they actually put those investment dollars. But they do have the Ronald McDonald House. Now, how many Ronald McDonald houses here and there? Now, I tell you the God honest truth. Now, you have to look at what their foundations are doing. Not that that's enough, but what is it doing for the community? And it depends on what that is. Are you understand what I mean? What I mean? Oh, okay. Anyway. Wow, all that from comparisons. I'm going to repeat it again. What's going on? We good, right? Blessings. We good, right? Okay. Oh, look at those group of people there. Okay, now let's see where we're going to compare a group of them people and why them look like that and compare that to every other community. Now, you tell me what they look like. Now, you take your urban youth in one particular area and you compare them to other urban youth in that area. Okay? Some people want to make it seem like they hear that they doing all so good or yay! Blessing. Yay! Don't get it twisted. Don't have these people making us think they hear this we underachiever. Huh. We are achieving. Okay. Like I said, here it is. Why should I? They were like, oh, here it is. There's people right here. Don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against the people who feel like they want to do. The encouragement, of course, is to, slow down, not do it. All the golden rules that here it is that's been applied to well-being. But then here it is. There's certainly everybody is different. When we do our fingerprints, it's not all of them are not the same. Okay, so all that to say is this. Now, here it is. That I ain't going to argue with you about you. Now, here it is. We want to work together. We'll work together. Not like that. And we rolling that all into some marijuana and drink and some cigaros. There's just too much other things to do. Okay, understand what I mean? Understand what I mean? Substance. All right, now good up, Saba. Well, I was trying to do some artwork today, and it was time-consuming. It did not seem as if I was being productive, but it was. I participated with the local senior exercise group today. Big up to the seniors. Though the exercise required using a chair, it was exercise. I mean, I literally felt like I was, you know, even though you're walking down the street and you ride the bike or whatever else you do, honey, if you ain't doing no aerobics, this is, I mean, even though we were sitting down, you know, I was lifting my legs, all of that felt heavy. I'm like, Yes, I did juice today, and I had some din too. All right. But being focused on nutrition, veggies, and fruits. Okay. I will break it down, but I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Nguzo Saba and Nguzo Saba and his principles, hey, but you know, the reason why is to say exercise and eat your fruits and veggies. Everything else is secondary. All right, Kite Society. Family values. I have my family with me. And today, I'm going to communicate about abuse. Okay, I know we didn't have a couple of days, 2-3 days about abuse. Okay, we talking about family values. Family values, people. The breakdown of here it is, what that is when it comes to the union of a man and a woman. And then our offspring. The question is, what are boundaries? When you're in a union, okay? Say, here it is. When someone says, okay, babe, I'm going to take a break, okay? And understanding, you know, okay, babe, I'm going to go over here for a little while and get some rest. Or I'm going to take a walk. Or, okay, here it is. You must establish boundaries in your relationship, including with your offspring. There should be, I remember back in the day, they used to tell us to go in the corner. And we used to sit in the, we used to go in the corner, right, when we were youth, right? Okay, take a break. I wonder if they're doing that today. Okay? At that point, what we were learning was how to control ourselves and think about whatever it was that we were doing. And that's something I have not seen. You know, they'd be like, all right, go in the corner. Understanding space. When I say enough is enough, don't keep on mistreating me. Enough is enough. You know, some people can get really accelerated. Big up to our teachers out there here. We thank you. Don't get it twisted, honey. Those people, they take up our children. Ain't no telling what is going on with them kids. Honey, I have two myself. I wonder who's out there helping them teachers. Who's out there for real making sure that them kids ain't misbehaving and carrying on a certain kind of way? Okay, because I'm like, honey, I ain't going to fit you. I didn't teach them children that. Where you get that from? Don't play. Y'all know y'all need to do what? The Nguzo Saba? Yes, hey, it needs to be these teachers, they need the whole aspect of parent volunteering all the way up to high school and college. Don't get it twisted. Okay, so what happens is you get all these people talking about elementary. Don't get me a Head Start, kindergarten, elementary. But what happens is that we really do not see the parent involvement when it comes down to middle school and high school. But we need it throughout. There are a lot of kids who are missing out, and what happens is that it does take a village to raise a child, and it is in that school. All the other extracurricular activities, those are okay. But yet, when you are dealing with children who may come from a single-family home, they may be going through some difficulties, and yet they may be behaving a certain kind of way. Then here it is, they go to school, they may be sheltering that behavior. Yes, they may be socializing. I mean, a whole lot of different things. But guess what? Over a period of time, if it becomes ignored, what happens is that they grow into something. So we need to, hey, you need some counseling? You know, don't get it twisted, honey. Miss Irene I know about group homes, honey. I think I iterated that. But the kick, the shove, the snacks, blessings. it will be the goal of Kite Society to inquire about VAWA and domestic violence. Listen, domestic violence seems overlooked as a woman thing, but men also suffer forms of domestic violence. This has been communicated, including offspring. So anyway, here it is. The situation is this. When we look at, here it is, some of the kids that are all actually involved in going into, now, hold up. We owe something else. The thought is there. You know, I had inquired about the reentry program. And when the guy said, okay, now I tell you, sometimes I'm making phone calls. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing enough to be out there in the community. I'm trying to give myself the benefit of the doubt and just be like, I'm not of the effort, the benefit of the effort to say, you know what, you are trying to do something. I am trying to communicate with that person. I'm trying to communicate with that person. And sometimes I ain't gonna say it's overwhelming, but there's just a lot of things to try to involve here and there. But anyway, I was with this one group. In this group, they were communicating with me about the reentry program. So the guy told me to go and inquire about the reentry program. So I inquired. But I said, this reentry program is more focused, blessings, on, here it is, our youth. Now, here it is, now that's going to be a whole nother subject. I'm going to go back to that. Let me write my note for that. Juvenile Detention Center. I'm going to brush on it real quick. But what's happening is on the reentry program, what they're doing is that they're putting our youth in jail. Now, I made some suggestions, and the suggestions is just this. Why in the world would you choose to put our youth in jail and not allow them to go to the Army? So they miss out on the quintessential things in terms of education. So this is what I wanted to say. Is that when we look at, here it is, our youth, 9 out of 10 is the behavioral problem, and they find themselves in detention centers. Not that, listen, it don't be abuse on the parent's end, it be on the child's end. So we got all these kids and stuff in detention centers, but yet they want to tell us how much they love our kids. Now, doesn't that seem double standard? Don't you know that here it is, we are able to actually, blessings, we have to find an alternative thing. Don't put my child in jail because of a bag of marijuana. And especially, here is, look at all those cases. This is why, listen, when they come in Kite Society, I ain't going to fib to you, all these people who got these lawyer degrees, they know, listen, most of them become just public defenders, and what happens, they don't exercise certain things. Now, once they go ahead and approve, here it is, that whole thought and aspect of marijuana, and all them youth are in prison like that, and what? But yet, here it is, we ain't questioning that, huh? But we got people who out there, genuinely out there trying to legalize marijuana, if not legalize in other places. Now, what about our kids? Okay. Hey, listen. I ain't gonna fib to you. I love the kid. I do. I have concern about them, blessings. But street meat objective is Nagusa. Okay? The reason why, and it really is focused on adults. The reason why I adopted Nagusa Saba, because there are some writings that I have written over a period of time where it just looked familiar. Like, I was like, oh gosh, this thing is the base. Everything, then there's everything else. Street meat is a name. It is a representation. But it has the foundation. And I really don't know Nagusa Saba. I'm calling it out like it's okay. Nagusa Saba. Then here it is, over a period of time, I thought about these ideas, okay? Yay, yay, yay. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Let me reiterate, honey. Excuse me. Initially, it was Nagusa Saba. But then what happened is that here it is, hey, then we became priority. Okay? What became priority, even before Nagusa Saba, was Kite Society. Okay? I thought that the idea was good, but street meat went legal. And that's not legal. Huh? Street meat went straight legal. What happened to human civil constitutional rights like that? Then we're going to put that other layer on there called the Guzo Saba. Okay? Then we have true amelioration, and of course, honey, women always out, line everything. So we have tulips, and of course, black cock. So we only have a couple of tears, but it's all good, see? Going back to our youth. The street meat really have an interest in adults. But that doesn't mean me being I have children, okay? I have offspring. So when I look at my offspring, I have to look and inquire about their behavior and their mannerism and what's going on with this, why are we going through this, what is the conduct, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then here it is to see that it is a problematic thing going on with our youth. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there who can call themselves stringing for our children. So this is why I look at you. But my interest is adults. Because my question is why, okay, you're an adult, right? So here it is. The question is for real. What is the thing about child labor when we got adults? What is the thing about child labor when we have adults? Question that. It doesn't something seem off with that? We got adults, but anyway, going on from there. But I'm looking here at adults, and a lot of these people, what has happened is that they want to give, here it is, the future onto our children. But the thing is that if you do not establish what that thing is as an adult, or work on what that thing is, what are you providing for your children? See? See, we have to, when we look at certain things in terms of building blessings, we have to acknowledge that our work in itself is there to improve, here it is, society and ourselves. Hey, you, family, this, that, and the other, your world, or the world. Okay? And so this is why when I look at Nguzo Saba, that's what it is. Okay? So if me and you, man and woman, and we sitting there communicating, and yet you want to tell me about your achievements, I'm telling you about my achievements, blessings, and yet here it is, you want to tell me about your wealth, and I want to tell you about my wealth, and it just look like it look. You know what I mean? Then you explain that to me. I know people who live through apartments all their life, they don't have nothing to give to their kids. Okay? And that's just an array of different people. Okay, whether it comes to stocks or bonds or this or that or property or a boat or a car or this or that, sometimes not even a picture. Ooh, boy, I tell you. Then you ask me about security? Yes, honey, our existence matters. At one time, the question was if anyone could provide information about their oldest grandparents that they can think of. Now you're going through your history. Now who is your grandmama? Okay, who is your grandmama's mama's name? Your grandmama mama. What's her name? Her grandmama mama. What about your granddaddy? Vice versa. What's your okay, you got your daddy, your granddaddy, your great granddaddy, your great, and your great. Most people do not know that. Do family name matter? Family name matters. So that means all that to say to you, even if we look at Ford being 150 years old, here it is, the average person is not going to tell you what was going on. What? Okay. So too, about our children. Yes, we want them to be involved in the community and working and doing certain things and embracing their elders. We shouldn't have our children boxing us and trying to fight us and beat us down, and then here it is, because they hurt themselves and want to say, no. No, that means that somewhere in there's a misunderstanding about family values. Our existence matter. Now, let me go over here to this. Yes, it will be kite society's goal, honey. to inquire about VAWA. You'll find VAWA at the Department of Justice. And it's inquire about this domestic violence. Domestic violence seems overlooked as a woman thing, but men also suffer forms of domestic violence. Please, those of you who are out there, look at domestic violence and look at why it is important to combat it. Did I just have a conversation with you just now? What did I say? Okay. It sits in the area of our human, civil, and constitutional rights. Domestic violence sits in the area of our human, civil, and constitutional rights. Do not overlook it as if it is a female thing. Woman. It is a social problem. I said, do you understand where I'm coming from? I was like, here, is that true? This sucker like, it's okay. But don't put your hands on me. I ain't going to put my hands on you. At that point, does it matter what age it is? Like I said, here it is back in the day when a teacher told you to go to the corner, you just went to the corner. And if you got disruptive, you knew to take a hall pass and go down the hall to the principal. Or maybe to the counselor. But if you're not able to control your children at home, how do you expect them to act in the street? How do you expect them to act at school? No. It is domestic violence is a social problem. Okay? It is a social problem. Should we overlook Jim Crow? Now, I ain't going to fib to you, but those who are out there working on domestic violence, and I know that here it is, it's just been looking like it's been looking in terms of relationships. But, baby, I ain't going to fib to you, honey, from one thought to the next, because I ain't going to fib to you. I'm just trying to understand and have an understanding. But I would suggest all of those people who are out there who have an interest in domestic violence to look at the Jim Crow laws. I said, look at Jim Crow and domestic violence. Them suckers hand in hand somewhere and down. Now, that's on a large scope in terms of here it is, society. But yet, the union between a man and a woman, it is valuable. And the offsprings, too. This is why when you look at the family tree, here it is, they got mama and grandmama and all that kind of stuff. This is what I've been explaining to these people in terms of relationships. We must improve it. There's a man and there's a woman. Then here it is, they also have children. Look at the pyramid. Then they have children. So here it is. So mama, they end up having two girls. So it goes like this. Then here it is, there's a boy. And then here it is, it go from there, and then they have their name. And then this one got married to so-and-so. Please know your family tree. Write the sucker down. I ain't going to fib to you. Know your family tree. My Uncle Harold was sitting with me, and he wanted to tell me how our folks come up from, I think it was Connecticut. He was like, oh, here we have folks up in Canada and Niagara Falls, up in Connecticut and Maryland, and this, that, about that one, and this one, and about that one. And then here it is, information about this one. I ain't going to fib to you saying, I wish I had a recorder to record it so that I could write it down. But here it is, he was just talking, he was just collaborating about what we have family all up in the north. You know, I find it interesting that we do not elaborate about that Philadelphia Belle. But that is us. You know? All right. There is an interest to protect the citizens because we do not want to see abuse as if it is casual. Accidents can be harmful. You tell me, is it accident? I should think it's okay? Even if it is me. Even if it is you. That's not okay. Okay, what do you mean? As mentioned before, it depends on what it means. If you say that, then here it is, you are already accusing. You already insinuated. as mentioned before, that I will go over the structure of law research. We will read from Morality, Politics, and Law, the Whistleblower's Handbook, a step-by-step guide to doing what's right and protecting yourself. Legal research, how to find and understand the law. I ain't gonna fib to you, honey. Those men who are out there working with them kids on that they think are good children, you know they should already had a big old hand. And don't get it twisted. Those men was with Governor Deal. And matter of fact, when we were talking about the whole aspect of the reentry program, it made me wonder at the time what that was in terms of our youth. Now they were talking about the adults. But any of these men who's, I said men that are out there, y'all know they know, what? Honey, there should have already been a group of men who matter of fact, what about the motorcycle club? What about those OESs and here it is, the Masons and all now? They gone up to them prisons and find out what was going on in them? What about them children? I had to tell my child, you not isolated, baby. I ain't trying to put you in no corner. But yes, when it comes down for you to have a timeout, yes. Calm down. That made me, think about here. I'll check that out a little later. Anyway, I ain't gonna fib to you, honey. I'm like, honey, some time ago, I was like, I don't know. You can call that what you want to call it, but it's just like, look. All right. Hey, find out what's going on with these penitentiaries that's be throwing up like that. Find out about our kids, okay? Do have, at one time we had Judge Mathis. I think it was Judge Mathis who actually was doing some other kind of thing, like in terms of boot camp and all that. We had Judge Judy and like they were trying to do something in that other chocolate-looking lady. But let me explain something to you. When it comes down to our youth, I'm not sure what cases that is. I mean, yes, they have where, bad cases like, blase, but I ain't on my ear. But the thing is that, you want to send my child to jail or detention center for a bag of weed or because here it is, disorderly conduct. That stuff just looks like it's kind of off, right? Okay. We really need to prioritize what that is. We can actually create our own kind of boot camp, get the kids involved in, let's just say, instead of sending them to prison, that if we're able to accept the amount of money that they send them for prison, that's it. Hey, go to get in trouble, right? Before they even try to write them up a ticket. We should already, meaning that here we already have an alternative position so that the police, the police officers, or here it is, whatever that is, send the children there to find out what's going on. They go through an assessment process, find out what all that energy is they got going on. Find some sports for them to do. Here it is. Hey, at that point, once they go over there, have them travel outside the country. Because if they ain't going to be in the detention center, they do it. Then why the hell you wasn't? We be doing other things. That's a whole lot of moolah. Huh? So before they go to when the police officers pick them up, or here it is, they school call the police or the detention or whatever it is, blessings. 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 Listen, the thing would be, I'm an innocent woman. I try to be good. Yeah. But the suggestion would be is to try to find some alternative for our children to attend certain things. Instead of them going to the prison or going to the jail, going to the detention center. So when they get picked up, the first thing would be, where's 100 black men? Here it is, where's St. Jude? Okay? Where are these areas before the decision? And they, like I said, they go through assessment. Okay, here it is. That you call the parents and all that kind of stuff. You find out what's going on, and then here it is, put them in a nurturing position. Maybe send them off to cross the seas somewhere, blessings, and they do projects and stuff like that. Teach them how to fish and do this and do that. Huh? All right. Instead of putting them in like they're in incarceration or something. FYI, on June 14th, 10 a.m., Barge and Campbellton, I'm sorry, just kind of was separated. 10 a.m., Barge and Campbellton, they will be doing a cleanup, and your participation is wanted. Okay, while out there, I will be communicating with the NPU group that is facilitating the cleanup group to communicate wheelchair accessibility from Barge Road. Oh, because that whole cutoff really starts at Rue Royal and then up there to Greenbrier Parkway. But to tell you the truth, that whole area should be cleaned up and clean and accessible for the wheelchair people. Now, I need a few people who are interested in participating with that. But they need to attend some meetings, so it looks like we involved and like we actually give a flying stuff. Wow. You know, the thing is that when we look at it, the reason why it looks like it looks is because people are not participating, and when they are able to participate, for some reason they want to sit here talking about how we running off with our own money. I'm like, here it is. How the hell these people will sit and go back and forth about our money? Okay. I ain't gonna go there, okay? Okay. What? Where are, here it is, the architects, and where are these people, where are those people, where are all these, as I just told you. And here's, I ain't gonna argue with you. I just can provide you the literacy information. You wanna get an education, blessings, we'll go, I provide it, and I don't mind going with you. But one of the things that was iterated and reiterated several times was this. Here it is, your effort is your effort. You understand where I'm from? You're getting a college degree. That means you have to apply for it. Now, there are some people, they do earn doctorates because they have invented something that mankind in the world can use, like Bill Gates. He's an exceptional man. Okay? So the thing is that why should I spend, so this almost go to here it is, our youth and our children and start rebelling. Okay? They're just growing up. What else is an alternative that we can offer them besides going to jail or going to detention? Dang, really? Oh, boy. I think that here it is. I know some of this stuff just seems like it's really here, 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 here. Some people think they're really busy, and the truth of the matter there is, because they got to do the paperwork. They want to go out there and get involved in the community, but they're just finding that here it is, their one-man show is just that. And yet here it is, we have to pay somebody. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But when we think about the reality of it, shouldn't we not want to do as much as we can and try to achieve certain things without feeling like here does we have to think about how somebody else put us in a situation where they work for free? Don't you want to be able to work for free out your own hands? It may bounce forward and be created a community wealth and profit sharing. But if you feel like you have to grub first, which I also think so too, don't get it twisted. But the thing is because I have interest here and interest there, hey, I have to prioritize what those things are. Okay? And so I guess the conversation is just like this. I was traveling. And when I was traveling where I was going to, man, I even went to Washington, D.C., and I was just like, okay. I stayed in the shelter. Okay? So anyway, I wanted to say that when I was traveling, the question was, with one of my associates, we were conversing. And the conversation was, is when you don't have all the resources that you want, but yet here it is, you're able to pull the resources from other people. How do you, no, this is our money, honey. I ain't gonna have nobody try to, no, 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 honey. I ain't gonna, no. But, I don't know why I'm talking about where people are bottom fighting in situations and they live in certain places and circumstances. But, right, we are Americans, honey. All that belong to us, honey. We just have to work it out. Don't try to separate me from me. No, excuse me. And then I went somewhere else. That's why them folks acting like that. Huh. Well, but anyway, the conversation is because the area that I was in, I don't want to be calling out particular places that, they may have some people, and you see that here it is, there are certain things they have living in trashy areas and all that kind of stuff in some of these places. The question is, if you have, this, you see that the government is there. But if we consider how the Mennonites or the Amish people actually function and do their thing, okay, and here it is, okay, actually the Mennonites, they actually do inventions. One of the inventions that they did was that heater. It looked like the log. That invention was maybe about 10 years, 15 years old. But remember the whole log set in? Okay, now that's questionable. But anyway, so they, live without electricity. Some of them do, not all of them. And so they talk about electricity, they do their farming, they do this and do that. And it's like, okay, how do we achieve certain goals for countries or places, right? So say, for an example, you may travel somewhere, and what suggestion could you offer them in terms of helping them have the morale of what that is and improving, here it is, their society? You have to acknowledge that when we look at some of these places or some of these people, they volunteer, baby. They, blessings, that done went somewhere else. But they volunteer and they do certain things so that they can improve their community. If everybody, maybe here it is, okay, maybe you could be like $1, $2, $3, I don't know. But when we look at everything around us, we have to wonder, who built it? Okay? Do you understand where I'm coming from? To hear some of our men talk, oh, here's this, then here it is, they're just plain talkers. What else you got going on? What else is your work? You want to tell me about theology? Go to Europe somewhere and go study some more theology. Go to Asia and study theology. A lot of these people, don't get me misunderstood, they don't get it. But they got it. Understand? But when you look at these people and they just going back and forth in that rhetoric, thank you, it just makes you wonder. Okay? Oh, fishing. What is it? What is it that, in terms of us doing business, how do we achieve certain things? Huh? So anyway, that would be the suggestion, the Guzo Saba. Now, I ain't going to fib to you. I do want to go over some of the materials that have been written in terms of Nguzo Saba and the 7 principles. Okay? Nguzo Saba, 7, because, right now I see Nguzo Saba as a head, and that head is a little pyramid, ugly-looking thing that's in the... He ain't ugly. That's Nguzo Saba, okay? And then here it is, everything else is his principles, okay? His little charms. His little trinkets. But Nguzo Saba's Nguzo Saba, baby. So here it is. How do we go about those things? Honey, when you go to some of these places, it shouldn't have been not one problem for them to collect all that trash and put it together. And here it is. Hey, I learned how to do trash. Blessing. I learned how to use a shovel and a rake and all that. Okay? I learned how to make a makeshift house. Okay? Now what I do need to learn how to do is probably lay out some of that bricks and, and all that kind of stuff, and cement. But it looks fairly easy now, doesn't it? Excuse me. So the question is again, how do we expect to achieve certain goals with something? Consider that and what that means. I encourage people, I will go to you again, as I mentioned before, that I do want to go over some of the materials. I do want to have a book, just Naguzo Saba, where, I'm able to write some of the things that I've written before in regards to the 7 principles, which is unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Goodness. Okay? And it's just the truth. Anyway, again, on June 14th, 10 a.m., Barge and Campbellton, they will be doing a cleanup at the park and ride, okay, in the area. Hello? Hello? Okay. Oh, all right. Let's see. As I mentioned to you earlier, understanding that thing and embracing another language. You embrace another language, not only does it build bridges, but it also allows you to appreciate, here it is, the traditions that also are similar to what we already share and what we already do. Okay? So we embrace those who know how to speak another language. It is important for us to learn, building bridges through languages. This will allow persons to embrace and appreciate our culture. If you know how to speak another language, please email me along with your major. I know, some people say, girl, I'm like, I know that's right. There was this girl on there, she spoke French, Chinese, and I think she was talking about learning Italian and Spanish. I ain't gonna 50 you. I was like, honey, I want that woman to be on board with me. A good-looking young lady from France. She was like, I don't know if it was Chinese, or she was talking about Japanese and Chinese. And the girlfriend already sounded like she spoke about 6 different languages. Now, as I was traveling, that's one thing I want to say is that some of these people, they speak French, I have a friend, he told me he spoke Spanish, English, Garifuna, and Islam, or Arabic. Now, I ain't gonna 50. I'm like, you don't speak no Arabic. But he called himself trying to teach me, right, or tell me. But then when I asked him how to do the Spanish, he couldn't tell me. But then here it is the same thing with the... I'm like, well, here it is. Listen, not a couple of words, but I mean talking about somebody who know how to understand and comprehend and speak it. Read it, see it, speak it. You understand? There are some people who do. They know several languages. Matter of fact, one of the directors at my school, she was the dean. And I said, oh, she was talking about how she speaks 5 or 6 different languages, how she's over there and he not speak Hindi and all that kind of stuff. I was like, girl, hush your mouth. I was like, learn another language, see? It is important. Why? Because here it is. You'll find that some of the things that you are, in terms of languages, you'll find that there's some similarities in our culture, in our tradition. Okay? I was just saying, just know that. Anyway, we'll go on food and all that later. But even though we're Americans here in the United States, what is interesting is that you do not find a lot of, even though we have common foods like corn on the cob, hamburgers, and hot dogs, we love pizza, and what else, this is that and the other. But when you really go inside the kitchen, we have that thing called soul food, and then we have that southern cooking. Now there is a difference. Know the difference between soul food and southern cooking. Now soul food I went somewhere else, but I do encourage southern cooking. Oh, that done went somewhere else. But you know what I mean when I say what I mean. Okay. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for listening to the Street Meet the Point. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all that kind of stuff, too. Boy. Like I said, here it is. We'll work on some more series, but we did have the conversation about domestic violence, it seemed like, for the past couple of days. Hey, just don't understand. Walk away. Dang, you don't have to be Russian roulette. Anyway, we're going, no, that don't went somewhere else too. We will have other communication later about this, that, and the other. But as usual, again, thanks for joining Street Meet the Point, listening audience, and hope to have your support. We do accept donations, thank you, crowdfunding support, and your participation. Everyone is valuable, and participation to help yourself, family, community, local, state, region, federal, and global community relies on the many people that contribute to it being an effective structure. Oh, yes, intervention, please. One moment. I want to say that, as I mentioned to you before, in regards to this, that, and the other, I ain't gonna fib to you. A lot of the stuff, like me walking, I appreciate certain things. I find that, for real, certain things, certain kind of way, blah, 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 blah. I was knocking on the big doors, so I'm just finding myself back, knocking on some other doors, because what it is that if we're trying to help ourselves in the global community, then that work in itself will be at an elevated place. The reason why is that I explained just that. You have some people who are just really comfortable doing what they're doing. Is it okay? The Guzo Saba. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that. But as I was out there communicating with people today, I realized that I must upgrade. Okay? Please visit www.streetmeet.biz. And our Connect partner, www.meetup.com/meet. Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Deux enfants d'Ounia, raconte des histoires. Mais veux pas mon enfant idole, avec un verre l'eau sucrée. Nous la pouvons manger à soir, mais ça va rôder. La case mon moment d'Ounia, n'a toujours un gazon. Ça nana, n'a pour gâter, ça la point du tout. Nana, n'a pour gâter, tu vois pas ça que la point. Na pugati sa La da la da na 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 retourne là-bas, voir Monsieur Tonnerre, même s'il est la fille de moi, la fille rien pour moi. Mais ça va dire lui, monsieur, fait bec à moi clé, pour moi gagner un petit monnaie, pour acheter manger, ça nana pour gâter, ça la pointe du tout. Ça nana pour gâter, ça t'y voit pas, ça la pointe. Ça nana pour gâter, ça la pointe du tout. Ça nana pour gâter, ça t'y voit pas, ça la pointe. Momo l'a jamais dit à moi, quand la pointe il faut voler. Papa l'a jamais dit à moi, quand la pointe il faut mendier. M'y rappellons pas longtemps, quand la fait point travail. L'été ça va avec la clé pour acheter manger. Sac nana pour gâter, sac la pointe du tout. Sac nana pour gâter, si vois pas sac la pointe. Sac nana pour gâter, sac la pointe du tout. Sac nana pour gâter, si vois pas sac la pointe. La da la da 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 da. La da la da 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 da. La da la da 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 da. La da la da 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 da. Ben mon deux enfants Donia, raconte à d'autres histoires. Mais veux pas mon enfant idon avec un verre à l'eau sucrée. Nous la pouvons manger à soir, mais ça va rôder. La case mon maman Donia n'a toujours un gazon. Sac nana n'a pour gâter, ça la pointe du tout. Sac nana n'a pour gâter, si vois pas sac la pointe. Sac nana n'a pour gâter, ça la pointe du tout. Sac nana n'a pour gâter, si vois pas sac la pointe. 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 Si vois pas sac la pointe.